Hey, what's going on? It's Yukon, back for my second video ever. Um, my first one, I wrote down what I was gonna say, and listening back to it, it just sounded really forced. So this time, I'm just gonna kind of, go off the rip and probably just cut what I say, or cut and edit it. So hopefully it'll sound more natural. Today, I'll be talking about, overcoming HPPD. Should have looked up what HPPD means, but I think it's hyper persisting perception disorder. But pretty much what it is when you trip too much and your vision's all fucked up. And I don't know if this is also encompassing it, but it's what I experience. And then you just feel real whacked out, and it's pretty much like you're still tripping afterwards. So, a little background. When I was when I was younger, 13, 14, pretty much my entire teenagehood, I was, I guess kind of a troubled kid. Got into doing drugs, mainly just Adderall and drinking, smoking. But one day, my girlfriend at the time, she got me some mushrooms, and I asked her to buy me an eighth of mushrooms, and she did. She got herself an eighth of mushrooms as well, and that was over at a friend's house. And that's when I decided to take the eighth of mushrooms. What I thought was an eighth of mushrooms, and keep in mind, this was my second ever psychedelic experience. My first one was just taking one hit of acid, which I had a good time, and nothing bad happened. So my second ever psychedelic experience, I think I'm taking an eighth. And, I ate the mushrooms, and it seemed like a lot. I was like, you know what, they're dried, the weight's probably different than weed, I'm probably just overthinking it. And I finished the bag, and I'm talking to my girlfriend, and I said, oh yeah, I finished the eighth. And she was like, just your eighth? And I was like, I thought that was only my eighth in there. Turns out I ate about 7 grams mushrooms that night. And what followed was just about what you expected. Super intense trip. Thought I was in a dream. This is where else, first it was just tripping super hard. And I remember it felt like when it was coming on, time would freeze and people's faces would freeze. And then over my vision was this neon green train stop that I was going through. But I was the train, and then I was looking at the walls, and there were these weird frog faces that were shooting colored light out of them. And then I went to look at the mirror, because at my buddy's basement, he had an unfinished basement with this giant mirror down there. And it's the one, mortal sin of the drugs is you don't look into the mirror. And that's what I did. And I didn't recognize who I saw in the mirror. And I started asking questions about him. And then I freaked out. Boom! Punched the mirror, shattered into a bunch of pieces. My hand is cut pretty bad, gushing blood everywhere. My buddy's parents hear a commotion and, come running down. The police get called, the paramedics get called. I tried biting this dude's dad, got punched, my tooth went through my upper lip, I forgot how, but I ended up being stripped down naked. I think I did that. and then got the spit bag put over me because I'm spitting blood and everything by the cops, and I woke up in the hospital, and that was just the start of it. And that was rough and really embarrassing, you know, seeing your friends at school, I say, and being like, oh man, I'm sorry about that, I was fucking crazy. And my brother was like, yeah, you can't come back to my house anymore. And I was like, yeah, that's definitely understandable. And like all my other buddies, their parents were like, you can't come to our house. And I was like, yeah, I get that. But now for the HPPD part, that was, I would say, the most noticeable visual effects of it that didn't. Okay, so for the first 6 months, it was still like I would be in school and like looking at the whiteboards. The like, at school they have these electronic, not projectors, but like smart boards, and the images would still be bleeding off into the walls for the first like 6 months, and that was real freaky. And probably for like a year, I couldn't look at trees. Like the leaves of trees looked too weird to look at, and they looked like they were video game generated or something. And I think the worst part was the not even the visual part because you get used to that. Oh, and also everything looked real like staticky, and it was, I don't know. It's like everything was like an old TV projection or something. But the visual part, it was real scary at first, but you get used to it. But the mental part was, I would say, a lot scarier. And a lot of it, some of it I realized, but a lot of it I did not realize until much later in life, looking back on it, where I was like, oh, I thought I was doing alright, and I was out of my fucking head that whole time. Like, I think I definitely got like some type of anxiety disorder afterwards. And like the people I knew, like my good buddies after that, they were like, yeah, you are not the same anymore, man. And it definitely is true. And yeah, it sounds very dramatic. I don't know if I got some form of like PTSD or something, but whenever anyone would like bring it up or I would start thinking about it, I would like, my skin felt like it was burning and it felt like I couldn't breathe. And it was pretty weird. And even now, thinking about it, it kind of freaks me out. Because it's like, I don't know, I was tripping so hard where it's like sometimes I still think about it. And it's like, am I still tripping? Have I never came back? And it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. But that thought still comes, but it has much less of a hold on me than it once did. But yeah, you definitely get that thought. And yeah, my emotions were very volatile. I think I was still in some kind of, semi-psychotic episode afterwards. Because there were times where I would like, for some reason, a lot of the times it happened at restaurants. I would be out somewhere like at a restaurant and think that people were like talking about me using hand signals to like secretly make fun of me. And like I thought they were using hand signals to talk about me, thinking that I wouldn't know. And just like genuinely crazy shit. Like I would avoid eye contact with people because I thought if I was looking at them, I could like read their minds and they could read my mind. And I thought I was a second coming of Christ for like 6 months afterwards. Where it was like I was so sure of it in my head. I was like, I'm not even telling anyone because I know that I am the second coming of Christ. Like just real fucking mental shit. And I think that's one thing about psychedelic drugs that people don't talk about. Is like there is a risk of that happening, and of course the amount I took was way higher than I thought it was going to be, and I guess it could be compared to like someone being like, fuck alcohol, that shit'll fuck you up, and it's like, how much do you drink? It's like, well, I had three full bottles of tequila. It's like, oh yeah, that's why you think that, and that's fair play. That could be, but yeah, I was definitely a real space case for a while, and probably to some degree still am, but it definitely gets better. You know. That's something I want to put out because when I was first looking, if like online, if anyone had any similar experiences to me, and I couldn't really find anything good. And the first maybe 6 months or a year, you're feeling out of your head. You're still like visuals wise, you're still pretty much tripping. You're all fucked up with anxiety and weird, semi psychotic shit, probably full blown psychotic shit. And it's like first 6 months to a year, you start thinking, you're like, oh, there's only one way out of this. You're thinking of just giving yourself a 12 gauge haircut, but it's like that is not the only way, and things do get better. And that's just what I wanted to put out there is that in the moment, it feels like you have permanently fucked yourself up for forever. And maybe to some extent, there will always be a scar for sure, but you will get so much better. Like, I remember, another thing is I would get like, it sounds strange, but like debilitating deja vu, where I would just be like in the middle of doing something, and then I'd be like, oh, I've been stuck here for thousands of years. And be like, whoa. Or like, have like I don't know if it was just my mind playing tricks on me, but being like, I have been in this exact same scenario before, or this exact same, place and time before, even if it was a new place I had never been to. And it was like, it would wig me out so bad that I would have to leave wherever I was at. And, like my chest would get tight, and I like couldn't breathe. But even that probably has not happened to me. It used to be like multiple times a week, then a month, and then a year, and it probably has not happened to me more than 5 times in the last year. It's been getting a lot better. And yeah, I just wanted to, for anyone looking into it, I just want to let you know it does get better. And another thing that I really struggled with was for so long I was like, I just want to go back to how I was before. But here's the reality. You can never unexperience what you have experienced. So you will never be who you were before, but you can become much better than you're feeling now. Maybe, yeah, you always have a weird twinge where, you'll notice your thoughts start going weird or having weird beliefs out of nowhere. Or like you can't sleep for multiple days and you start acting funny, but it's like you will learn to cope with it and live a normal life, Because that's another thing. Is I was thinking, I was like, I will never be able to do a normal life after this. I'll never be able to, be a good boyfriend or hold down a job or, just be a person, really. It's like you feel so fucked up. It's like, I can't ever be a person again. But you will be, And that's something I wish that I heard when I was going through it. Yeah, but that's one thing, is that it seems like people are like way cooler with psychedelic drugs now, where they're like I don't know, at least the people I was running around with, where it wasn't seen as like any big thing. It's like, oh yeah, we're going out, we're just gonna be tripping for a little bit. And it's like, no, like, it is much different than other drugs where it's like, you could just be permanently fucked up from this. And, I love the people where they're like, yeah, man, but it can't kill you like alcohol does. It's like, bro, alcohol has never made me think that I am not in real life and like fucking try to kill myself. It's like, probably if you get real drunk, you will think of killing yourself just because sometimes it makes you real sad. But I don't know, like psychedelic drugs, that shit is no good. And every time after, being such a fucking genius that I am, that was not the last time I tried psychedelic drugs, but I only did them probably 2 or 3 times after that, just doing mushroom, and never had a good time. And yeah, I guess that's what I say. The main takeaway from this video would be that if you have HPPD, don't get discouraged. Things will get better. You will feel normal again, and be able to live a normal life. You know, you might be a little dinged up mentally, but you will be able to return to like 98%. And yeah, if you haven't tried psychedelic drugs, I would strongly discourage trying them. I think that they are like best case scenario, you have a fun time. All these things online where it's like, it changed my entire life. And they're the most amazing things ever. It's like, I don't know who the fuck is saying that, but that shit is the dumbest shit ever. It's like, I don't know, maybe in very niche circumstances, but it's like, go talk to anyone that really likes doing psychedelic drugs, and you will be like, oh, this person is a fucking idiot. Like, this person is the biggest dope I've ever met. Because that's the biggest lie about psychedelic drugs is that, like, it's this deeply profound thing. And it's like, yeah, kind of, but, not in a good way. It's like, you know what else is probably fucking profound? And like life changing, like seeing your best friend get shot right in front of you. Like that's probably pretty profound and life changing, but I would not recommend that, I don't think anyone would go seeking that. Probably, yeah, not gonna be the same after seeing your best friend die in front of you. So, no, I'm just ranting. I probably won't even use this recording. I'll probably just use it for ideas. But, yeah, like the drugs no good, I would say. But then again, I'm not a fan of any drugs or alcohol in general. I think they're all a really bad idea and not worth it. Because I was thinking about it. Every single like type of drug I've ever done or drinking, I don't think even once in my entire life was it a net positive. Where I was like, oh, my life was better after doing this. I had like, yeah, it's a losing deal for sure.